Ricky, what a performance. What a win. Some fantastic performances all over the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah,
brilliant. Let's start there, Ricky. Let's start there.
I wonder if Ole showed him my fan cam from last
I knew he was going to say that.
He played the game tonight completely differently, Flex.
Did he? Did he though?
Yes, of course he did. He didn't.
What did he do differently?
He didn't take silly long shots off. His shots were all from around the edge of the D or inside the D, which I've been saying he needs to do. I always look at the cuts of the grass. Lots of his shots have been from in the second cut of the grass. I've seen a couple of shots he's taken on in the past against Spurs and Sheffield United from the third cut of grass. You know what I mean? You're talking a long way out from goal. He's working at getting closer to the goal now. And he's shot from within the D 3 times, I think. And also, he didn't play any long passes, hardly a long pass, all short stuff. He played tonight.
Right, let me have this right. He's improved because Solskjaer has showed.
Solskjaer's had a word with him. It's there to be seen, Flex. Solskjaer has had a word with him without any shadow of a doubt. Sorry to have to use the same phrase, but I can't think of a different phrase. I've been banging on. He needs to simplify his game. Tonight, he simplified his game. And
on the positives of his performance, Rick, from on the positives on his performance from simplifying his game, how good was he? What did you see?
Well, like I've just said, I saw a man who played it simple, made himself available. Obviously, he always works hard. You know, it's as simple as that. He stopped making silly, rash decisions of trying to. He didn't play any balls over the top that weren't on, which he must have done it. I did a thread on it from after the Spurs game. He must have tried it about 8 times against Spurs. That ball's over the top. He didn't try one tonight, not one. You know, so that's it. He has simplified his game, and I've said all along. I said to you only the other night. He's got all the ability. He works his socks off. I said that to you the other night. I said to you, all he's got to do is simplify his game. We've got a player. And tonight he simplified his game. And the difference in his game tonight compared to the last couple of games is chalk and cheese. It can't just be an accident or a coincidence.
What I will say is, what I would say is that you're on this, obviously, this part where you're saying he's done a whole load different in terms of simplifying his game. And he probably did try less. He did try. It's a fact. He did try less longer passes. I accept that. But I don't think he played different, Rick, in terms of trying to find a forward pass, making sure he's shooting, his tenacity. Like I didn't see too much different. Maybe apart from a few long passes.
Miles different. The forward passes that he played tonight were along the floor into the striker's feet. The forward passes that he's playing against Spurs and Sheffield United, he's trying to get them over the top to people to chase them.
The ones that mattered and the ones that made a difference in those games, i.e., you look at the Spurs game, the one into Martial, that was a fantastic ball on the floor. You look at the one at Sheffield United, round the corner on the floor.
When I say he does it too often, it'd be ridiculous to suggest he doesn't do some right. And when he's done it, when it's tonight, he's done most of it right. It'd be ridiculous to suggest for any player. I'm not just talking about Bruno.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be ridiculous to suggest that he gets everything right, but also when he's playing badly, he doesn't get everything wrong either. So you can pick out the odd one. Of course you can. Yeah. You know, the odd one against Spurs, a great ball into Marshall's feet. But tonight, there's 5, 6, 7, 8 balls into the feet of the strikers, and none, literally none.
So you were loving that consistency from him today in terms of it was class tonight. Yeah, he was. We'll get to Matic's performance because I thought he was breathtaking again. I thought it was absolutely superb. But what we're seeing is this credit to Solskjaer, Rick, that actually of course we're not there yet, but he's knitting together this team, and you can see it just morphing and blossoming into something, can't you?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think we've seen it taking shape really before the lockdown. You know, some good results, good performance. Obviously, we were already talking about a bit of an unbeaten run before the lockdown. As I say, it's 15 games unbeaten now, isn't it? But obviously in the league, it's not good enough just to be unbeaten from now on. We've got to win. It's no good just saying we've drawn and we're still unbeaten. We've got to win these next. They're all winnable games. I think the next 4 games, aren't they? What you'd look at, and no disrespect to the clubs that we're playing, but we've got to win them games. If we win all them games, I think we'll be nailed on for top 4 if we can win them next 4. Really.
The fullbacks today, I thought there was, trying to impose themselves. It could have been a very stubborn game. It could have been a difficult game if the intensity weren't there, if the simplicity wasn't there, and the willingness to run beyond was there. I thought both fullbacks did that today. 2 centre halves obviously didn't have maybe too much to do, but they did whatever they had to do. They did well. And De Gea kept a clean sheet in terms of keeping himself switched on. Made some saves you'd probably expect.
I thought he made one great save and a couple
that one exactly. So and another clean sheet. So it's breeding confidence. How did you see the back 4 today? Back 5.
Pretty solid. And Brighton did come into the game, didn't they, for a spell? Yeah. I know in commentary they said Bruno's gone off, or Bruno and Pogba went off at the same time.
Yeah.
And they said, you can see the difference. And you could see the difference, to be fair. But Brighton were growing into the game. I think for 10 minutes before Bruno and Pogba went off, they were getting...
They changed their approach, didn't they? They went for it more.
Play better anyway. So, I don't think they were necessarily right to say that was the difference when the 2 lads went off. I think it seemed to be going that way, the game. They were getting in the game, and that's why De Gea had to make a couple. I can't really remember now. He might have had to make 1 or 2 of them saves while the boys were still on the park. You know what I mean? So I can't really remember, to be honest. But Brighton did get a foothold in the game, and they did give us a run for that. I'm wondering, good job we got the 3rd goal at the time we did. If they'd have got the goal at 2-1 instead of us getting a goal at 3-0, it could have been an airy 20 minutes or half an hour at the end.
Well, that 3rd goal, Rick, a lot of people are saying it's reminiscent of the old Manchester United, of how quickly we can be so devastating on the counter-attack. Most notably that counter-attack goal at the Emirates that year, which was, Nani, Ronaldo and Rooney, which was very similar to that. And it starts off with Harry Maguire with the header out, and Matic plays a brilliant pass, something if De Bruyne does, if Pogba does, if, a lot of other players play that pass, we're raving about it. It was a brilliant pass, and Mason Greenwood with the maturity to pick Bruno out. It was just a great move, and it just shows another kind of string to the bow that we had. We dominated Brighton in terms of possession and made chances and got our goals, but also when they tried to switch up the game plan and put it on us, we done them again. We worked hard defensively. They did, like we just said, they did get a couple of chances, and it was a good break to get the 3rd goal. I want to mention Pogba as well. I think I've said on the show at least once that I don't expect it to work. I don't see it working well if we've got Pogba and Bruno in the midfield. Yeah, you did say that, actually. It looks all right to me, Rick.
I don't mind bringing it up, mate. That's all. I have brought it up. I want to say that the reason I said that is I've seen it in Bruno's play already, that he's, up until tonight, he tries too many winners, and tonight he cut that out of his game. But in the past, I've also seen Pogba play like that. And I did think to myself that if we've got 2 players playing like that, it'll actually be a bit of a mess. But Pogba, I cannot sing his praises highly enough. Since minute 1 of coming back into the team, all simple stuff, get it and give it. I swear he has often been a culprit for too many daft shots and too many long passes. And tonight, and well, not just tonight, since he's been back in the seas, he's been top class, and it's all simple football. And I'm telling you, if they keep playing like that, there'd be a match for anybody.
Absolutely. On paper, it's arguably the best midfield on paper in the league. Arguably, and you look at the numbers that since Bruno Fernandes has come, he's created and been involved in more goals than anybody else in the whole league. That's your De Bruyne's, that's your David Silva's, that's your whoever's. He's up there above all of them in that time period since he's been here, which is fantastic. And on Pogba, just to finish off there, I do see a player. I see a player who almost, I don't want to say is relieved, but I feel like can just take a bit of a big breath and say, I'm not the only one that this is on. It's not all on me to make something happen. I think he's enjoying having Bruno. He looks for him quite a lot, wants him to shoot, set him up for the first goal that Bruno scored, always looking for him. And bringing that along with the calmness of Matic, I think it just makes a very complimentary midfield three with the way they're all playing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Couldn't agree with you.
Who was your man of the match, Rick?
You'd probably have to get. People always go with the goal scorers, don't they? You'd probably have to give it Bruno, but you know, deep down, probably Matic. But I'll go with Bruno.
not Mason Greenwood. So some people giving a shout for Mason.
He played well enough. Mason, did play well enough. He's great at that. You know, chopping it from one foot to the other. Again, they don't know which. You know,
great feet. Great feet.
He's going to hit it with, and he hits it really well. It's a great goal. Yeah. Great goal. But I don't think he's good enough to win man of the match.
Rick, always a pleasure. And I will see you against Bournemouth.
Can't wait for it.
Nice one, mate. Take care.
Good night, mate.